I'm Jeff Pearlman, a best-selling author of Only God Can Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur, and this is All Hip Hop. Okay,
And
tombstone material right there.
yeah, and a best-selling. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, here at One World Studios, and we have a special guest, the first white non-hip hop, non-rapper, best-selling author of 10, now 11 books, guest, and an alum of the University of Delaware, Jeff Pearlman.
I'm a blue hen.
Yeah,
I am your first.
yeah,
I don't know. I can't. I'm your first non-hip hop white guest.
yes,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah.
I'm Jewish, so am I your first Jewish?
No,
No.
nah.
Okay.
We've had plenty of Jewish people
All
up
right.
here.
Sorry.
Nah, seriously, Jeff, thanks for coming through,
Of
man.
course. Of course.
Yeah,
We go way back.
we go way back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. We both went to the University of Delaware.
we did.
Both were on the review,
Student newspaper,
student newspaper, and you were the editor in chief.
and you were the cartoonist.
Yeah, I was the car. Well, come on, don't do me like that. I was the entertainment editor.
And I just want to say, I just learned before we started recording that when I was editor and you were doing cartoons, you were
Yeah,
sending secret messages to
yeah.
black students. It's probably like, save me from this place, get me out
Secret
of
coded
here.
messages that only black people could understand, and he never knew.
I'm like, this is a great
White
cartoon.
people never knew it.
Did you think one day I'd be writing a Tupac biography? Be like, this guy,
I
this guy right here.
I never thought you would ever write a Tupac book, which is crazy.
Yeah, but here I am.
But I'll admit, about 3 or so years ago, when you started kicking it around, you came to me, and I almost felt like you were asking permission. It felt that way because Kevin Powell was kind of, on your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I was looking for guidance and
Hmm.
for like, this isn't a horrible idea. Like
Yeah.
this isn't the worst idea ever. And basically, what happened, I have a lot of respect for Kevin Powell as a
Hmm.
journalist. I've read Kevin Powell for years.
Yeah.
I did something kind of dumb. I openly admit he had on his website for years, working on a Tupac book, something like that. I mean, for years.
Right.
And I had in my mind for a long time about possibly writing about Tupac because I just find him fascinating. And I got a number for Kevin, and I texted him one day because no one answers their phones anymore.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself, and he definitely was not happy to hear from me. And I did kind of write, I'm working on this because I didn't mean it to be crass, but I look back and I'm like, oh, that wasn't cool. It was basically like, you had on your website for a long time. I'm kind of assuming you're not doing it. So I decided I was going to do it. And
Okay.
he basically wrote back and
Yeah.
said something about kind of white privilege and whatever. Not, I can't argue anything he says. Like,
Yeah.
I've had a very privileged career, man.
Hmm.
What can I say? But I have wanted to write this book for a long time and he wasn't doing it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Did he tell you he wasn't doing it?
I don't think he did actually, but he emphasized that he's a poet now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he might still do it,
Yeah.
but I did want to do the book. Like and also by this point, I was into it. So like,
Right.
even if he said no, actually, I'm working on it, I probably would have done it because I would work on it for a long time.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Shout out to Kevin Powell.
100%.
Yeah.
Kevin Powell wrote some of the best stuff about Tupac ever. That is a
Yeah.
fact. So,
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah. And they didn't do him right in the movies. To be honest with you, some of the portrayals just glossed over that.
yeah. He was kind of the go-to guy for Tupac.
Yeah. Definitely. So, what? Let me ask you this, because you are a white guy and you do see things differently
Sure.
than someone like me or other hip hop aficionados. What is your perspective on Tupac overall? Your general perspective.
Do you mean now or when I started?
Let's say both, when you started and now.
Okay. So I'm sure you know many people like me, which is to say, I'm like a cliche. I am a cliche. I'm from a tiny town about an hour north of New York City. My class was 330 people. There were two black kids in the class. One of them was Jonathan Powell, was my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
John Powell, when everyone in our school was listening to Aerosmith and Bon Jovi and Slayer and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
introduced me to Public Enemy and specifically Black Steel and the Hour of Chaos.
Okay.
And I fell in love with that song.
Yeah.
And I remember then I got really into Big Daddy Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought my Daddy Kane cassette to the school dance one year, my senior year, because I desperately wanted the DJ to play I Get the Job Done because I knew these people would love it. I remember this painfully vividly. He's like, all right. He puts the tape in. You hear the beginning of it, it starts with like a boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom. people are dancing for maybe 20 seconds, 28 seconds,
Mm,
and the floor just empties.
yeah.
It's like that scene in Back to the Future where Michael J. Fox plays the guitar and he
Yeah.
goes, "You're not ready for this, but your kids are going to love it."
Yeah.
Like, I bet if you went to Mailpack now, they're all listening to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, but it was
Mm,
just an earlier time. But I was a kid who was introduced to hip hop by the black best friend in the white town.
yeah.
And over the years, I really got into Tupac. I just did. I loved his music. I was fascinated by his story. I wanted to read the great, great Tupac book because his
Mm-hmm.
journey really just riveted me. And I didn't feel like it was out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went as a guy who was very curious and also readily acknowledging I do not have your background in hip hop, your understanding of hip hop. So you try to go in as a complete blank slate and you acknowledge that to everyone you interview. This is
Okay.
who I am. I'm a white guy from rural New York, but you'll never find anyone who's more interested to talk to you. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that would be my superpowers.
Yeah.
I will listen to everything you have to say with a very, very open mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after.
Man. I mean, it's been 650 interviews in 3 years. And when I talk about Tupac, sometimes I actually get really profoundly sad.
Mm-hmm.
I think his life was full of trauma
Mm-hmm.
and full of pain.
Mm-hmm.
I think of when I sat down with Set, his sister, and she told me two things. She said, when she first went to therapy, the first thing she told the therapist was about the rats running through their apartment, their row house in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And the sound of the rats is
Mm-hmm.
what haunts her still.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a moment, in particular, as a white journalist, that was like, it sounds corny, but like really important for me. I was sitting with her and I said, "So what was it like when you moved from Baltimore to Marin City?" And she said to me, "That's your white privilege." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "We didn't move. We were relocated." She's like, "There's a huge difference between the two."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, actually almost like, whoa. And later I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff you need to hear to
Yeah.
even slightly understand what it was. It's one thing to say that someone was poor,
Yeah.
even we had rats, but to
Mm-hmm.
hear someone say we didn't move, we were relocated,
Right.
like hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And when I think of Tupac now, more than anything, I think about him being a kid with rats running beneath the floor and looking for the food in their row house, and they barely had any food to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, the book, I read the book cover to cover, and I couldn't put it down, which is a rarity, especially in the social media world and total distraction world we live in. But I was really moved by the story, particularly the first half where this trauma plays out.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say I had no clue. And I really was just almost speechless. Like I didn't even tell people. I was just reading it. Um what would you say you learned from that beginnings, those beginnings? Did you learn, like,
Oh,
I mean, the trauma is it's unbelievable.
don't you think like I think Tupac had a really unique thing happen to him that most of us don't have, right?
Hmm.
Like my hero was my dad, who I told you died a few years ago. He
Hmm.
was my hero. He was my role model. My dad wasn't perfect, but he
Hmm.
was great. And his imperfections were he wasn't always the best listener,
Yeah.
stuff like that, little things. Tupac's hero became a crack addict
Yeah.
before his eyes. So the
Right.
woman, like Afeni Shakur, should be taught in history classes in
Hmm.
America. Like I believe that that is not a talking line. Her story, Panther 21,
Hmm.
um, representing herself in court as a 21-year-old pregnant woman,
Yeah.
um, turning down the attorney to represent herself without a high school degree, winning her
Yeah.
case, um, is just insane. It's just
Hmm.
insane. So Tupac, everywhere he would go, would brag about his mom. Everyone knew when he went to Dunbar High School, where he first went. The first thing people I interviewed told me was, "Oh, he always talked about his mom being a Black Panther. His mom, the Black Panther. Baltimore School for the Arts. His mom, the Black Panther."
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're watching your mom plummet
Mm.
and become this crack addict who's not home, who's chasing the high, who at one point tried aborting her pregnancy by taking crack, more
Mm.
crack than usual. Like,
Wow.
so imagine like your hero is also the person who kind of tortures you watching her.
Yeah.
And that was his being. And I just think that fueled a lot of what he was, both as an artist and just as a human being.
Yeah. Wow. That's I have no comment because it's just mind blowing.
It's sad.
Yeah. Now, you interviewed all these people.
Mhm.
There's a few things notable. We'll get into some of them.
Mhm.
But you start the book off with finding Brenda's baby,
Yeah.
as in quotes,
Yeah.
and also subsequently reuniting them with the mother,
With Brenda.
Brenda,
So, yeah.
quote unquote Brenda.
Yeah.
Now, I actually put it down after after reading that. That's how it starts. I put it down for I think maybe a week. I was just like, what did I just read?
Yeah.
What? And that's where I think for you, that's where I think being white is like this superpower, right?
Oh
As
no.
crazy as
Why?
it sounds. No, because all of us have listened to that song, watched that video. Some of us knew it was a real life story,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
We knew
Omar Epps had talked about it before. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But no one ever thought to find this person or the mother.
Oh,
No one ever thought of doing that.
yeah.
But you did.
I don't think it's my white superpower. I think it's my Sports Illustrated superpower.
Your Sports Illustrated
So I
super.
started my career. Well, I started my career as a newspaper writer in Nashville.
Okay.
Started my career at the Delaware Review with Chuck Creekmur. And then I was at SI. And SI, when I was there, for all its flaws, had some of the great writers.
Okay.
Great Rick Riley and Steve Rushin and Gary Smith and these guys, Phil Taylor, great writers who the whole idea at SI was go beyond, go beyond, go beyond. Gary Smith used to always say, make the extra call, make the extra call, make the extra call.
Mm.
And it becomes this thing. How do you stand out from other pieces? We're all writing about the same athletes. We're all writing LeBron James stories. How did Grant Wall write a better LeBron James story? You make the extra call. And I love the song Brenda's Got a Baby. I actually don't think it's not like Brenda's Got a Baby is one of Tupac's 10 best songs. I don't think anyone would argue that. It's
Yeah.
really literal. It's a early, kind of early beat.
Yeah.
It's not the best production, whatever. But the idea, Omar Epps, I heard him in a video say Tupac read this article.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm going to find this article. I'm going to find the article.
Mm.
It took me not long to find the article. I find the article. And it was called Cries in the Night. It was in the New York Daily News in 1991. A reporter named Linda Iglesias wrote it. And it was about a 12-year-old girl in the Noble Drew Ali housing development in Brooklyn who was raped by a cousin, had the baby on the bathroom floor, put the baby in an odd job plastic bag, threw the baby down the trash heap. It's the day the trash is supposed to be compacted. A guy who works in the building hears a baby crying, gets a baby, brings a baby to the hospital. I work with a genealogist named Michelle Sully, who I went to high school with. And I was like, do you think we could find this baby? And she's like, it's kind of a hard one, but give me a few days. She's just like a wizard. She calls me a few days later. She's like, I think I have a contact information for him. She gives me a number. I text because no one answers our phones anymore. I text the crudest text ever. He and I have laughed about this since. Hey, my name's Jeff Pearlman, writer, blah, blah, working on a Tupac book. By any chance, is this you? And I attached the photo of the article. Again, it's not my finest moment as a texter, but he wrote back basically, holy crap, let's talk tomorrow. I talked to him the next day. He happens to live in Las Vegas. I drive out. I live in Southern California. I drive out to Las Vegas. I meet him at a Starbucks. Basically, everything in that article happened to him. He's adopted by parents, and they moved to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his story, but doesn't know the details of his story. A couple years ago, his parents died. He does an ancestry.com search. All these names come back to Brooklyn and the Noble Drew Ali public housing.
Mm-hmm.
He starts reaching out to them. They're like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you like Tupac?
Mm.
He likes Biggie more. But
Yeah.
he always said, I'm from Brooklyn. What do you want? I'm like, Tupac's from New York. He's like, I like Biggie more, but yeah, I love Tupac. Do you know the song Brenda's Got a Baby? Of course I do. We think that's you.
Mm.
He flies to New York. He meets with the families. It's like this Antoine Fisher moment at the end of the movie where he has this family moment with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're crying and the tears. And he showed me a photo of him standing next to the trash chute where he was thrown down as a baby.
Wow.
So we have this moment. And I ask him if he's had contact with his mother. He has not. I mentioned Michelle Sully. I go to Michelle. I'm like, it would be great if we could find this mother. She's like, that might be a little harder. She's a wizard. A couple days later, she has a number and she texts this woman. And she's like, by any chance, is this Janine? And actually, it's funny how Michelle tells it. She wrote back, who's this? And she's like, it's Michelle. Because she was just trying to get her on the phone so she could talk to her. This woman calls. Michelle was like, I'm a genealogist. I'm working with a writer named Jeff Pearlman. Were you the mother of when you were 12 years old, did you give birth? And she starts going, do you know where my son is? Do you know where my son is? And she's screaming and crying. I've been looking for my son for 20 something years. Do you know where he is? Michelle says, yeah, we're in contact with him. And the woman says, I live in Newark, but I'm away from home for a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert.
Yeah.
And Michelle says, where are they playing? And she goes, Vegas. And they met that night and reunited.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
It's by far 30 years of reporting, the craziest
Yeah.
reporting of my life. And it's all due to the genealogist. I mean, she's a wizard of wizards. Yeah.
And Brenda's a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, which is
You know what? It's my favorite detail of the story. The little,
right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. Red Hot Chili.
That's,
I mean,
that's my favorite rock group.
Chili Peppers are great.
Yeah.
Chili Peppers are great.
They're my favorite, but I know that
I'm more of a Hall & Oates guy, but
really?
love Hall & Oates.
Is Hall & Oates rock? Isn't that yacht rock? I'm sorry. Sorry.
You call it Rich Girl Yacht Rock? Come on, it's one of the great songs of all time.
Okay.
Yeah. Sampled many times.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fault. I love Hall & Oates. I wish they could get it together.
Yeah, no, they hate each other now.
Right.
It's over.
Oh man. So, but specifically,
like, why did I pursue it?
Yeah, like yeah. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I get this is good and bad. I get super finite in reporting and the way I think. I don't know where I learned this, but it really is true in journalism. Like, you go and interview a baseball player, right? So you interview Juan Soto. The obvious question is contract, batting average, home runs, whatever. The good reporter, I think, looks behind him in his locker and notices a picture of a little kid. It says, hey, Juan, who's that kid? He's like, oh, it's a kid. His make-a-wish, blah, 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 was to see me. Oh, what'd you do with him? Oh, I went to his home and I had dinner. Oh, what'd you have for dinner? And all of a sudden you have this amazing story about Juan Soto because you went smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Brenda's Got a Baby, to me, I know Same Song was really his first verse that people know, but Brenda's Got a Baby was like, hello, this is Tupac moment for him. Yeah. And the video, with Money B in the video, black and white, Alan Hughes video, like it was this moment for him. I just thought, how can I break this down to as much minutia as possible? Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So there are other parts of this book that are really, really heavy.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. Parts that I tried to say, hey, you don't really want to put that in there. So I don't want to spoil it.
It's all good. It's okay.
But okay.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
The thing about biography, like, this is actually important. You have a decision to make in biography.
Right.
You do. You have a decision to make.
Right.
Am I writing a definitive look at this person's life?
Right.
Warts and all, good and bad.
Yeah.
Am I writing that? Or am I writing a book for fans that fans can say, oh, this reinforces everything I ever thought about this person and I love it and my kids are going to love it? Or am I trying to write a book that could be hard to read, but it's the true historic record of this artist? And that's, I'm not saying I succeed or fail, but that's what you try to do.
Right.
So there are things what can you do?
Yeah.
Like, you have a choice to make as a journalist.
So in hip hop, I'll be very specific. In hip hop, we walk a tightrope, a very tightrope, because one, it's kind of tough to be in this culture and tell the absolute truth, whether it's truth is always murky, muddy water, but you can meet someone in the club and they not like what you wrote, and it's happened before many times. Now, I've never had that issue per se, but when you write something like this, sometimes you feel like it's better that someone outside of the culture did it because someone inside the culture may not fare well as they move forward.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten some death threats, stuff like that.
You've gotten death threats?
Yeah, it's new to me, but I have. Because I did something stupid.
What'd you do?
I'm totally open about this. I did something so freaking stupid. A couple months before the book came out, I was on a podcast. It wasn't about Tupac. They asked me about Tupac. And the thing is, like, you get used to talking sports. And sports is in a way, it's a BS. It's just like, oh, the Jets are going to suck this year. Here's why Justin Fields, blah, 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 right? And I said very, like, flippantly, they asked me about Tupac. And I was like, well, I don't remember my exact words. It was like, a lot of it was kind of an act. He wasn't great with a gun and he wasn't a great fighter. And it was, on the one hand, it was important for me. It was actually important for me. It was like a moment of recognition that this is not a subject that you, in particular, white outsider sports writer, can just be flip about. Period. Cannot be flip about it.
Yeah.
And that was like a flip moment where I wasn't really thinking. And there is research behind what I said to a certain, but it was like a flip. thing.
Mhm.
And I got the just the stuff I got was,
Yeah.
for me, you don't get that in sports.
Mhm.
I guess you do
Right.
get in hip hop probably more than sports.
It happens. But when I was on Fox News, I definitely got like similar negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It stings.
Yeah.
And then people say, oh, just don't read it. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know,
So hopefully no more death threats.
yeah.
But that said, so no, honestly, so in the book, there's, Tupac went to jail or prison rather, for a rape.
Yeah.
That
Technically, it was sexual battery.
sexually, but
Right.
I'm
Sure.
sorry,
Yeah. No, no, right. Right. Right.
yeah, but there's another sexual assault
Yeah.
case.
I'll tell
in
the
the
story if you want.
Tell the story.
All right. So, again, this is the kind of thing perfect. People are like, you just want to sell books. If my goal really was, quote unquote, to just sell books, I probably wouldn't even include this in there,
Yeah,
because it's painful and it sucks. But
yeah.
I was doing research and I came across first a redacted police report about a woman who 4 months before the Parker Meridian in New York City situation, um, accused Tupac and some of his people he rolled with of rape.
Hmm.
And she filed a full police report, but I had redacted without names. And then I found an unredacted report
Mm.
and I reached out to the woman. And basically, what she said is it was her 21st birthday. She was out with friends at a club. Tupac and I think four other guys were with her. She's at the club. She's dancing with Tupac. Um, she didn't think of it. She just thought it was cool to be dancing with Tupac Shakur. Like she had a boyfriend literally as a football player at USC. So it was not,
Hmm.
she was going there after.
He was, yeah, he
He was
wasn't
not
there.
there at the club. Her friends were like, we're ready to leave. She wasn't even hanging out with Tupac at this point. Her friends were like, we're ready to leave. And she's like, well, let's give it another few minutes. She goes outside and they left. Her friends left her at the club. Her Tupac and his guys see her kind of outside the club upset. And this is pre-cell phone, pre-Uber. It's not as easy to get home,
Yeah.
They say, hey, do you need a ride? She says, okay. And she literally said to me, I kind of thought to myself I'd be okay because Tupac is famous. And why would a famous person do something, right? Okay. According to her and according to the report, instead of driving her home, Tupac says, well, we have to stop off at my place first. He had a place near the club in LA. They stop there. She's like, I'll just wait in the car. She's like, no, come on in, come on in. She's like, okay. She goes in. He says, come on in the bedroom. And according to her, he sexually assaulted her.
Hmm.
And according to her, said invited his friends to. She said she had sex with Tupac. She with a friend. She starts screaming, whatever. He's like, just take her home. A friend starts driving her home. He was just going to drop her off at like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And somehow he said basically, if you do a sexual act on me, I'll drive you home. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. So basically, this all happens.
Hmm.
She gets home to her boyfriend's. She's screaming. She's crying.
She did the act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets home. She's screaming. She's crying. She's telling her boyfriend what happened. Boyfriend, according to her, is like, where is this? I'm going to get a bunch of the guys on the football team and we're just going to go kick the shit out of Tupac Shakur. That was literally what she said. She's like, no, no, no. I want to file a police report. Go to a police report. It's all in the documents. Filed a police report. Handed over. She was bleeding from the rectum. She had blood in her underwear, all this stuff. And um, whoever was in charge of the investigation decided not to pursue it. And this is written clearly in this police report because it said she had a chance to run away when they stopped at 7-Eleven and she didn't do it. Therefore, we're not going to pursue this.
Mm.
That's literally what they wrote.
That's awful.
So I found her and she didn't want to talk at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out, you always try twice because, and she said, do you have the report? And I was like, I do. She says, well, I'd like to see it. And I showed it to her and she was so angry because it reminded her that they didn't pursue it and everything she put into it. She wanted to read it. And she told me at the end, she said, I can't tell you everything, but I can tell you, I believe the other woman because he did the exact same thing to me.
Mm.
Do I like reporting that? No.
Mm-hmm.
Are people going to probably hate me for reporting that? I suppose so.
Yeah.
But what are you supposed to do when you're writing a biography? And the whole Parker Meridian situation is the reason he went to Clinton.
Right.
So what are you supposed to do? As a journalist, what are you supposed to do? You checked, you called the sources, you have the report, you have the redacted, the unredacted, you know it all happened. You know it was allegedly happened. I can't say for sure it happened. And I interviewed the woman and she actually said to me at one point, she's like, I think she was 52. She's like, I'm 52 years old. You're not using my name. I didn't use her name. She's, alleged rape victim. She's like, I'm married with kids. Why would I lie about this?
Yeah.
Like, why would I make this up all these years later? I
Right.
don't, so there you go.
So here's a stupid question.
My dad would say there's no such thing. But you might,
Is there
be.
any, this is for hip hop,
Mhm.
is there any possibility some of these things that you've unearthed are wrong or incorrect?
I mean, the thing is, I just said this to someone before. When you write a biography, you are relying on memory oftentimes. This case, I had documentation.
Right.
But someone says, like, all right, I talked to Jim Belushi because they were in gang related together, or Layla Rochon. And Layla Rochon was awesome. She told me, she's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
She told me this great story about they were filming, and one day there was a delay on the set, and Tupac said to her, why don't we just go to a movie? Not as a date, like just why don't we go? There's a movie playing here. Why don't we go to a movie? And she told me, she said, I'm not going with you. And he's like, why? And he was like, I don't want to get shot. Now, look, is it possible she said, I don't really feel like doing that? Or she made up a headache? It's possible. It was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So part of a biographer, you are relying on memories and you hope that memories are accurate. Now, you triple check when it's the important, detailed, everything. But if it's someone telling a story about that fun time on gang related, you're more willing to rely on memory. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What was your favorite part of the book? Like what, obviously there's Brenda but what did you enjoy?
So I love Marin City. I love his time in Marin City. It's fascinating. It was painful for him. And I have these I gotta say, like, it's the best job in the world. Like he has a great job. It's painful, but it's the best job in the world. And Tupac spent his senior year in high school in Marin City. He was devastated because he loved the Baltimore School for the Arts. That's where he met Jada, a bunch of
Right.
people, learned how to act. Moves to Marin City. And his mom is addicted to crack. And someone said, you need to talk to Brian Tynes. And I'm like, who's Brian Tynes? He's like, he was a crack dealer in Marin City. And he's still there, and you need to talk to him. And I called him up. I told him who I was, and I was like, I'd love to come up and talk to you. I literally drove, I think, 9 hours to go talk to Brian Tynes. And we're sitting in the front seat of his car, and he's explaining to me what it was like being a crack dealer, what it was like in Marin City, what a young Tupac was like. And to me, by far, whether it's sports, hip hop, whatever, the best part of this job is the fish out of water. I can sit next to a former crack dealer and ask him exactly what it was like to deal crack in Marin City. And the other one that I love, so Tupac, he's living in Marin City, and he had a rap battle with this rapper named Tack. And he was like 13 years old, and Tupac felt like he just got annihilated.
Yeah.
He was in front of people. He basically vanishes for 5 days. And he lived with these two guys, Ryan D and August Terry. And they're like, where's Tupac? Where's Tupac? Where'd Tupac go? And he comes back, and he basically had spent the time roaming with a guy named Bobby Burton, who was also a kingpin and just, badass, and taking notes. And he comes back and he writes Days of a Criminal off of that experience. And I ended up having breakfast with Bobby Burton,
Wow.
former kingpin, and he's with his grandson. So it's me, the former kingpin, and the kingpin's grandson. And he's great, and he's open, and he likes telling these stories. And the grandson is like just, drawing on a napkin and whatever. And I also love, I know it sounds dumb. Maybe you feel this too sometimes. When you see guys who like lived really hard lives and now he's grandpa.
Yeah.
There's something so beautiful about that, And he's like taking his kid to a game afterwards. And I love that. I eat up that stuff. Yeah.
Would you consider Tupac a chameleon? What would you consider him? Because he seemed to shapeshift
Mhm.
at every stage. I talked to Ice-T one time, and I don't want to quote him or even represent what he said, but in LA, so LA and I'll put it like this: LA and the Bay are very different,
Very.
very different.
Yeah.
And he moved different. I,
Oh,
I don't want to say, how he moved, but he moved very different in those places.
yeah.
Essentially gang culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Oakland, I mean, if you even just listen to his music, you hear the Oakland influence, the Too Short, the Ant Banks, when he's up there, certainly Digital Underground, his first group. You hear this impact, and it shifts completely. And I guess that's probably somewhat common when artists move and they're exposed to different artists, and all of a sudden you're exposed to Dre and stupid stuff like that. I think wherever he was, he learned to adapt. And I think he was, and this is not an insult, I think he was a people pleaser. Like I think he was really good. The white elementary school teacher, Mrs. Greenleaf
Yeah.
at PS in New York, who I interviewed, loved him,
Yeah.
right? Oh, he was such a beautiful, polite kid. The drama teachers in Baltimore loved him.
Yeah.
His classmates in Baltimore loved him. I mean, one classmate described him to me. It's one of my favorite descriptions. He said, Tupac was the kind of kid who would have a ladybug on his hand and he would gently remove it and put it on a leaf.
Right.
That's how. Now, he gets to Oakland. He's in Marin City. He sees he can't be the same guy. He changes his name from MC New York to Tupac. He adjusts. Obviously, Bishop had a big impact on him. I talked to a lot of people. I think it's a little lazy to say like, "Oh, it changed him. It was he just became Bishop." I hate that argument so much.
Yeah.
But certainly, the response he got to being Bishop
Right.
made it more appealing to him. I think that's undeniable.
Yeah. He got in a lot of trouble based on those affiliations. New York, Biggie warned him. Speaking of Biggie, I felt the tragedy of their friendship and Biggie trying so hard. This is depicted very clearly in the book how hard Biggie tried to to be friends with Pac
Yeah.
and to warn him.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, visit him in the hospital after he was shot.
mhm,
Couldn't see him. Was turned away. That was because the nurses, because no one was seeing Tupac. Calls Watani, Tupac's manager, and says, I want to visit him in Clinton. And this is when Tupac has already spewed venom about him. I want to go visit him.
yeah,
Watani says it to Tupac. Tupac's like, I'm not letting that ass on here. No
Yeah.
way, not doing it. He built up. I think Biggie is, in a way, is a sympathetic character in
yeah,
the Tupac story because you may disagree, and this may be me being way out of touch. Like, I think Biggie was like, what is going on here? Like, what?
mhm,
Like, you're blaming me for this?
right.
No, do you disagree? I just think,
I don't know about sympathetic, but I would definitely say that he put in the effort.
yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
absolutely. He really respected Pac,
Yeah.
and I think he loved Pac.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's crazy how Tupac was getting paid. He was in so much debt because this is when he was paying lawyers, attorney fees, all that stuff. He was doing a Little Sean verse at Quad Studios feature for $7,000.
yeah,
$7,000. That's it.
right.
That's insane.
I don't know what it was at the time, what the artist got, but I'm
That's
sure it was in cash.
that's
And
yeah. It wasn't cash.
yeah,
It wasn't cash because Roseman called him. He kept paging him during the trial. And Tupac actually threw his pager at Yasmin Fula in the middle of the trial and said, "Can you tell this fool to stop paging me? I'm kind of busy right now."
yeah,
And he kept paging him. He didn't even know him that well.
right.
Then when he was driving down, he called him on the way and he said, Roseman said to him, "I don't have the money." And Tupac's like, "Well, I'm not coming." And then he
Mhm.
called him back and said, "Well, I'll get Andre Harrell to give he promises me he'll give the money."
Yeah,
And that was the Little Sean $7,000.
right.
It's $7,000 for a Tupac feature. I'm not even a rapper. I
It's
would
the
pay
streets,
$7,000 for a Tupac feature.
right?
Yeah.
Did you Okay, let me test you.
Oh no, I might fail.
You might fail. Have you ever heard the name Dexter Isaacs?
Yeah. Wait, but who's Dexter Isaacs? I have. I swear to God, I'm not just saying that.
All hip hop broke that story.
Which one was that?
He was the guy. Oh boy, my brain is not. But he admitted to shooting Tupac
Oh,
for
Aquad.
Roseman.
Aquad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, Tupac blamed everybody for that. He
yeah,
blamed um, Puffy at one point. He blamed Biggie at one point.
yeah.
He blamed Stretch. I mean, he blamed like,
And Stretch died to the year after.
yep. He
Was there any
blamed,
connection?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't
There's
know.
something. Look,
It felt like it.
I feel like as a biographer, you also have to acknowledge when there are things you don't know. I don't know who shot him at Quad Studios.
Right.
You know,
Okay, you don't know.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
No,
You should have talked to Dexter Isaacs.
I probably tried to reach him. I know I tried to reach him. I'm
Yeah.
not kidding.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I tried to reach him.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll show you on my laptop after.
Okay.
I tried to call everyone. If there was a name, I
Yeah.
called. It wasn't always that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the, what's his name? Moby.
Moby?
Yeah.
Not-
Cool Moby.
Oh, Kumo B. Cool. Wait.
From Oakland.
Easy Moby.
Easy Moby.
Oh my
what?
God,
I keep
you're
getting
messing me up.
Easy Moby.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry,
this is
Moby.
weird. This is super weird. Number one, lived in my hometown of Mailpack, New York.
Get out of here.
And Mailpack, New York is not a place any hip hop artist has ever lived in his life or
Right.
producer or anything. He's from Oakland. Okay. He told me a crazy story about Quad that I don't think has ever been written before.
What about?
Okay. He and two of his friends were with Tupac earlier in the day in the Parker Meridian smoking weed and talking.
Mm-hmm.
That night, Tupac was supposed to perform at a club in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Moby was going to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
They show up at the Parker Meridian. It's $50 to valet park your car. They decide not to valet park their car and go up.
Oh,
And he's like,
yeah.
they're all arguing. They're literally arguing. I don't want to pay $50. Just pay the $50. I don't want to pay $50. They decide not to. They park their car in the street. They're waiting on the street. They're standing outside the car, literally right across the street from the hotel.
Mhm.
They see Ayanna Jackson, whose name has been used a bunch now, so it's not revealing anything. They see her. They see her come down the elevator and out, and they actually later see Tupac escorted by police come down the elevator. At one point, a cop goes up to Moby and the two guys he's with and says, "What are you guys doing here?" And they're like, "Well, we're waiting for Tupac." And they see a police officer with Ayanna Jackson point to them across the street.
Mm,
And basically, she could see, like, say, "Do you recognize them?"
mm,
And Moby said to me, if she had just felt like being vindictive or
mhm.
didn't see that well or whatever, we easily could have been roped off in this. He said, the best move I've ever made in my life is
It's
not
like,
paying $50 for valet parking if they
yeah,
park averted.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Who didn't you get that you tried to get that you
I mean, a
that
lot
you,
of people.
yeah.
I didn't get his aunt, Glow.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to talk to her. I did get her sons, Kenny and Billy. They were
Mm,
great.
okay.
I didn't get Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg.
Right.
I would have liked to.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get. It's
Of
hard to
course.
get. I interviewed 650 people. I would have liked to interview 1,000 people. It's just a lot of people. I'm an outsider. It's hard. It's a little harder, and maybe a little easier in some points. It's a little
Well,
both. I had a TV show that helped me.
okay.
I had Winning Time on HBO, which is one of my
Yeah.
books,
Shout out to that.
and I use that a lot
Okay. To sell
as
people.
an early idea. I would just be like, I'm working on this book. I don't know if you saw I have this show HBO. Oh, Winning Time. Like a lot of people liked Winning Time,
Mm-hmm.
so that helped. You
Yeah.
too, again as a
I
journalist.
loved Winning Time.
Thanks.
That first season was
So good.
unparalleled. Yeah.
And then he got canceled after two.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
hurt.
Shout out to Rodney Barnes too,
Oh,
the other writer.
love Rodney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the TV side.
yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he's a good friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um. Wow. I'm trying to think. What else can I ask? Okay, so we got time. We got time. Um. Oh my God, what can I? Because I really want people to read the book.
Okay.
I really think it's worth reading. So let me ask you the hard question. One of the harder questions. Have you gotten any feedback from hip hop people in hip hop or the family? Who's
All
read
right. So far, um, very few people have read it. I sent it to Ray Love. Ray Love
it?
was
Okay.
Tupac's early partner in Strictly Dope. I haven't heard back
Hmm.
from Ray yet, but Ray's a great guy. Layla Steinberg read it. Yasmin Fula read it, but not that many people have read it yet. So it's a little early.
What did Layla say?
Layla liked it a lot. She said, "You really got it."
Okay.
And so that was good. Layla knew Tupac really, really well.
I'm sure you're waiting to hear from Setua. Set.
Yeah. And I know it's going to be a hard read for her. She actually told me I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
She did, but that doesn't mean she won't read it.
I think it's better that she doesn't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have to send her a copy, and I will send her a copy. It
Yeah.
comes out in a few days, so I'll send her a copy.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's always scary when a book comes out.
Yeah.
It's like terrifying, actually.
Is it? I mean, it is for you.
Always.
Why?
You're dealing, first of all, this book in particular. I mean, you're dealing with an iconic thing. I got death threats for saying he wasn't that great with a gun, and he wasn't a great fighter. Like, for that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of. It's a heavy book. You read it. It's a heavy, heavy book.
Mm-hmm.
And people have very emotional responses to Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
And there have also been a million different stories told about Tupac, some differently than mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's always scary because you're vulnerable as a writer. You are kind of vulnerable no matter what you write. You put it out there and you're putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Social media has not made it better. It's made it harder,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I always get nervous.
What are your thoughts on oh my God, what was I gonna say? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to edit this because I'm
Okay.
freezing. Okay, so let me. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm delaying something.
Just ask it.
That I
Just ask it. I'm
so
here.
so in the book, Tupac's fluid sexually. He has a lot of sex.
Yeah.
First of all, he has like tons of sex.
I mean, in high school, he was described by a couple of classmates as like sexually curious. I'm going to ask you a question. This to me is the one thing when you talk about an outsider writing a book. This is something for me. Okay. So Tupac certainly had experience running trains, right? When he was,
Mhm.
that's just a fact. That's undeniable. Undeniable.
Right.
I'm not even criticizing him or not criticizing him. A woman I interviewed, do you know, Spontaneous? Anyway, former hip hop artist slash adult film star.
Oh, I remember her
Yeah,
from the book. Yeah.
lovely, lovely person. One of my favorite people. And I talked to her in depth about running trains. And she's like, a lot of times the women are okay with it. You know, it depends if the women are okay with it. Whole thing. Okay. I feel like nobody would bat an eye. Not nobody, but a lot of people would just be like, train, you ran a train. I do not make the case in this book at all that everyone asked, is Tupac gay? I don't know. Like, I don't make the case that Tupac was gay. But I feel like if I said in this book, if somehow it was suggested Tupac was gay, that would be like the most horrible thing in hip hop ever. But if you said he was running trains on women, it would almost be like, what's the big
Mm-hmm.
deal? That to me is a little in 2025. I don't fully get. Like, I just don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there have been gay artists since then. Danny Boy, openly gay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're different guys. Like, why is it still so taboo in hip hop? I'm asking you. I'm doing the interviewing, I guess.
I, you got me, man. I don't think it's taboo right
You
now.
don't?
No, I don't. I think it was back in the day. You know, even though it was always there,
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
always there.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We may not have known or may have even been in denial, but it's always been there.
Interesting. So you think now, if tomorrow,
But
you know,
but with him, I think he epitomized what one would consider an alpha male in hip hop.
but it's so interesting because early on, someone I know very well who works in hip hop said to me, "Have you seen the interview of him when he was a TAM?" And this is a
Yes.
very famous interview, and he's very
Mhm.
effeminate in that interview.
Mhm.
And when he used to go to Baltimore School for the Arts, I mean, people describe him as like a butterfly or like Puck from A Midsummer's Night Dream. And he has painted nails, and he's painting his pants, and he has
Pac did?
Tupac did.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I did. I maybe.
yeah, no, Tupac. He
Okay.
wore fingernail polish to school. He
Okay.
painted his own jeans, different colors, and
Well, we all did that.
sure. But I'm just saying, like, he was like this, and he loved Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel and Randy Travis and anything but the girl, and like
Yeah.
all indigo girls, like all kind of music across the spectrum.
Right.
And he was like kind of, if you see him back then, like I wouldn't say he wasn't didn't have a feminine,
Mhm.
like he had moment. He was a pretty, he was a he was Puck, as many people say, he was like Puck from A Midsummer's Night Dream. He was like
Mhm.
a kind of, and like I think people look at him and they say, nah, he was hard. And like
Mhm.
he was kind of all over the place. I'm not
Yeah.
even talking sexually.
Yeah.
Just mannerisms. You watch that interview from Tam, you wouldn't say he's hard. You
Right.
watch him talking after he's out of prison, he's hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like you said, multiple
He
places,
definitely
multiple
wasn't
things.
soft. Well, let me just admit to this. I loved Kate Bush.
I love Kate Bush too.
So did Big Boy from Out. So does Big Boy
Yeah.
from Outkast. Yeah.
I actually think more white fans are surprised that hip hop artists have different influences
Yeah.
than fans who know, black fans in particular, who know, because if you listen to what's sampled, I mean, one of my favorite people I met in this book by far. There's a songwriter named Franny Goldie, and she wrote a Dennis Edwards song.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
that became Hit 'Em Up.
Mhm.
And she told me just the best story, which is, she's like a Jewish woman from Chicago, and she writes a
Mhm.
song with Dennis Edwards while she was high, and she
Mhm.
gets a
While she
call.
was high.
Yeah, she's like, I would
That's
say,
the detail.
well, because there's like Afrocentric beats in the chants in the song, and she
Mhm.
joked to me, she's like, those are written by two high Jewish people writing a song in Chicago, and this song comes out. It's a great song.
Don't look any further.
Yes, don't look any
Yeah,
further.
of
What's it? Don't
course.
look away. Don't look
By
any
the
further.
way, Dennis Edwards in that video. Have you ever seen the
Yeah,
video? Yeah. Well,
it's a crazy
allegedly,
video.
it's a cocaine jaw. He does this thing. They call it Bobby Brown jaw.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
shouldn't say cocaine jaw because we.
Bobby Brown draw.
Yeah.
Draw. So she told me years later, her manager, someone calls her, and she's like, when you come in next time, we got to talk about something. She comes in this meeting. They're like, so the rapper Tupac Shakur wants to sample one of your songs, the Dennis Edwards song.
Mhm.
She owns songwriting credit. She's like, oh, that's wonderful. And she
Mhm.
goes, I think you should read the lyrics.
Right.
And it's Hit 'Em Up.
Right.
And she's reading him up, and she goes, oh my. And
Right.
she's like, I don't think I want this.
Right.
And the guy goes, do, do you know who Suge Knight is? And
Right.
she goes, no, I don't. She's like, well, he runs Death Row Records. And unless you want someone knocking on your door,
Oh
you
my
might want to let
God.
them use the lyrics. And the funny thing is, years later, she's thrilled. Like, she thinks it's cool. The other one I just want to say changes is the Bruce Hornsby hook, the way it is, right?
Mhm.
I called Bruce Hornsby for the book. He told me a great story. He's like, he didn't know Tupac. He'd heard of him, but he didn't know his music. and they sent him a Tupac CD with changes on it when it came out. I think it was a greatest hits, maybe, or compilation. He and his wife are driving to a banquet at the mansion of former Virginia Governor Chuck Robb. And they pull up, and it's all white people except for the like three guys parking the cars. And he said he had this vivid memory. They opened it, they're like blasting Tupac, loving this album. And they open the doors and you hear, "That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat blah blah blah."
Right.
And all the like people are like ashen. And these three guys just think it's the funniest thing ever. And it was Bruce Hornsby's favorite memory of changes, and he loves changes.
That's hilarious. That is crazy. So let's talk about. So before I say let's talk about who, as you're telling these stories, it's really the put Tupac to the side. There's literally like a cast of characters. Afeni. I mean, and there's details with other people as well. You interviewed many people, and they provide this color and this texture to all the other people as well, which is sometimes equally shocking. Equally, you know, sh- informative.
Yeah.
And then there's Suge Knight,
No.
and
I tried reaching him.
Suge. Well, Suge. First of all, Suge is talking.
I know.
All the time, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get Suge? Why? Okay.
Right. He's in prison in San Diego. I don't live that far away from San Diego. You can't just. So I have done prison interviews before where I literally have just shown up, and the guy doesn't know I'm coming, and they come out and they see you, and then you sit down. At the prison he's at, you can't do that.
Okay.
However, they have a weird system where you can text an inmate if you pay X amount on your account. And I text him, I introduce myself, no response, no response. Every now and then he'd be like, okay. He'd like, okay. I'd be like, hey, I'm still working this book. He'd write back, okay, or something like that. And the only time I got any emotive response is I found a report card from when he was at UNLV for like introduction to music or music theory, and he got a D. And I sent him the report card, and he wrote back, ha.
Oh, wow.
And that was it. But he never would agree to meet me. So you talk to as many people as you can about him. I mean, I talked to, like, sports background, Solomon Wilcox, a future NFL announcer, former Bengal. I grew up with him in Compton. So like, interview him, different guys he grew up with, different people he came up with, and try to build a portrait of Suge Knight.
Gotcha.
I mean, the big thing about Suge that's interesting, like Tupac, he was never a gangbanger. Like he was halftime of the football games in high school, he'd run out in his football uniform and play drums in the marching band.
Yeah.
He was UNLV. People loved him at UNLV.
Yeah.
Played 3 games as a Los Angeles Ram in 1987, replacement player.
Yeah. He did he put on a persona in your opinion? Was the Suge Knight, because Suge Knight eventually got knocked out by a barber.
Yeah.
And then the
on
mystique,
video.
and then the mystique, and then he got shot, and like
that's the equivalent of when Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. Once you get knocked down, it's not the same.
Yeah. Definitely.
Unless you're like me, when everyone knocks you down.
Oh yeah.
Do I think it was a mystique though?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it he relied on mystique.
And he hired a lot of bloods.
A lot of bloods.
Yeah.
And he I interviewed one guy, this is a common story, but I interviewed one guy who worked for him, and he said he hires him, he walks him over to the window. And he goes, take a look out the window. The guy's like, all right. He goes, when people screw up here, we don't fire them, we throw them out windows. I thought, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a weird guy.
Yeah.
I think Suge Knight's a weird guy in a lot of ways.
Well, I have one up on you. I interviewed him once.
How was he?
He was cool.
He was?
He was trying to get out of jail at that point, so he was real
Did
cool.
you visit him, or was this on the phone?
No, on the phone. Yeah, and that was the last time. Yeah. Everything else since has been podcasts and things like that. He does talk to TMZ regularly, it seems.
I do think he was he wanted to be the Berry Gordy of hip hop, and I do think for a period of time he was that. Like if you look at what Death Row was putting out,
but it was
unsustainable.
It was unsustainable, and he kind of screwed over Harry O and I think Dick Griffey. Am I right?
Wow, yeah, good call.
Yeah.
He worked for Dick Griffey first. Dick Griffey hired him, and he was Bobby Brown's bodyguard at first.
Yeah, right.
After he left New Edition.
Yeah.
Dick
so
Griffey
there was some funny business, and then of course Dr. Dre left. So.
Yeah, and then Tupac does Gay Ass Dre and To Live and Die in L.A. and everything gets crazy. Yeah.
Did Suge destroy Pac in your opinion? Was it ultimately Suge that was the thing that, I mean, what how did
It's a great
how
question.
did we lose Tupac? Is my ultimate question. He would okay
It's a great question. It's such a great
for
question.
me. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
just speak personally. I admired the version of him that was very pro-black. You know, Brenda's got a baby.
Trapped, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, spoke truth to power. Shot two off-duty cops, not knowing they were cops, but
Yeah.
just like
Yeah. Yeah.
defending
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Right? That's the guy I was with, and then respectfully, we all were watching this show that turned into something completely different. And Suge Knight seemed to be like, you know how when you're ready to fight and you have a friend that's
Hmm.
like, yo, let's kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then you have one like, no, we're gonna get in trouble.
Devil and angel on your shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like I don't know. What do you think? What
All
do you
right. I know people have different opinions on Mob James, who I interviewed for the book.
think? Mm-hmm.
I understand that. But he said something to me that really resonated. He was like, he was really, when I interviewed him, he got really animated about Tupac's death and how it didn't have to happen
Mm-hmm.
and how he bought into this thing. Like, Suge Knight sold him this idea of what it is to be hip hop
Mm.
and what it is to be thug.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought into it. And I started this book wondering whether it was my vantage point, again, white sports writer, that his death was just absolutely stupid. Like
Mm.
at the end of the day, it was a stupid death. And I have to say, at the end of this journey, like it still doesn't make sense to me. You're in the MGM Grand. You just saw the Tyson fight. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. I get it. You smoked weed and you been drinking and you're like all fired up and you love Tyson and the fight did it for you. I get it. You see Orlando Anderson.
Yeah.
Trayvon Lane points him out and says, "That's the guy who stole my chain," or Jack, at the Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Why is Tupac the one going up to him? Why isn't someone?
Yeah.
You think Bruce Springsteen is punching someone out in a casino, or Lionel Richie, or anyone? Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's so unnecessary that it was Tupac
Yeah.
who goes up to him. And I interviewed one of Orlando Anderson's really close friends. Like, I really tried hard to find people going through all court records and stuff. I found this guy who grew up with Orlando Anderson. And I know some people are going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But he did say to me something that resonated. He's like, Orlando Anderson was not going to be able to come back to Compton having been beat up by a rapper.
Mm.
Like, you are a Compton Crip. Everyone saw what happened. You're not going to be able to come home and keep your head high and maintain your reputation. It'd be one thing if it was a guy, an actual death row guy, an actual mob Pyru guy. You
Mm.
got beat up by a rapper.
Mm.
Like, how are you going to do that?
Mm.
And I don't even think, again, I know a lot of people disagree. I don't think the mystery of his death is nearly as mysterious
Mm.
as a lot of people do. And most people I interviewed agreed with me. He has this happen because for Puffy to arrange this, okay,
Yeah.
or Suge to arrange it, Tupac would have to. So you plant Orlando Anderson in the casino. You have him wearing a Dan Marino Miami Dolphins jersey. You have Trayvon Lane say to Tupac, "That's the guy." You know for a fact Tupac is going to run up to him and punch him. You know everyone else is going to stomp him out. Then you know later they're going to be able to find you, even though you first went to Suge's club, then drove to Flamingo Cove. You would have to mastermind all of that happening
Yeah.
for it to happen. Again, I know there are people who disagree with me. I'm not
Mhm.
shitting on your theories. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I've talked to I have some homeboys and they're just like, no, this is LA and this is what happens.
And I talked to a bunch of cops in Vegas, and they hated Tyson fights. They
Mm.
hated Tyson fights. They
Mm.
said Tyson fights just drew a lot of gangbangers from LA, and it would
Yeah.
be like patrolling would be really hard, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, wrapping up, well, we, I should say, have a case where maybe we quote unquote solve, this thing gets kind of wrapped up in a bow with, um, what's his name? Uh,
Davon?
the guy on trial, uh,
Keefe?
Keefe D.
Yeah.
Keefe D.
Yeah.
Sorry. What do you think of that? Do you think this will give closure?
No,
No.
no. Because at the end of the day, whether it's Marilyn Monroe, how'd she die?
Mm-hmm.
James Dean, how'd he die? Len Bias, who gave him the cocaine?
Mm-hmm.
People are fascinated by young death.
Mm.
And nothing is better TV. Nothing's better documentaries.
Right.
Lester Holt, today we're going to talk about so and so. Netflix, what's the cheapest way to do a documentary? Dead celebrity, dead young celebrity.
Yeah.
I just think 100 years from now, someone will have this, whatever the websites are 100 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
The real killer of Tupac was
Right.
blank, blank, blank. So
Right.
no, I don't actually. Do
Yeah.
you?
No, I mean, we've seen AI have
Oh,
Pac, doing everything in Cuba with Nipsey and
you saw Mr.
Kobe,
Rogers with Tupac.
Mr. Rogers. It's disgusting, by the way, I should
I think
say.
about his sister. I
Me
swear to
too.
God, I think about
Yeah.
his sister, and I'm like, she doesn't need this.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick, literally.
I agree.
I hate it. I
Yeah.
hate it. So no, people are definitely fascinated.
It's also wrong for Mr. Rogers. You know what I mean? It really
Absolutely.
is. It really is. That guy devoted his life to being this guy. Tupac devoted his life to being this guy.
Yeah.
And you just,
Yeah.
well,
Mr. Rogers was my guy. He never failed me.
yeah. You knew
I
what he was
love
going to
him.
wear every
Yeah,
episode.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers.
Big ups.
And Bob Ross too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
him too.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone.
The mess with
Kobe,
Bob
Bob
Ross.
Ross,
Yeah,
Tupac,
it's sad.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even
It
want
is
to.
so cruel.
Yeah, it's really cruel. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
AI, it's going to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Jeff Pearlman, the old Hellraiser is still alive in you.
Not trying to raise hell, just trying to write good books.
Raise heaven, whatever, something. Yeah, no. Yeah, man, I just want to say congratulations. You are a best-selling author. I know your pedigree. I've always known your pedigree. And this is why I did not discourage you, but I encouraged you to do your thing.
Yeah.
That said, I didn't know it was going to be this.
You know what I will say,
I
Chuck?
had no idea.
Wait, I'm being serious. I'm not kidding. I love this. I love that, like, so I graduated college in 94. You said you graduated in 95.
Yeah.
I love that, like, 30 years later, we're sitting here in a studio
Yeah.
having this conversation. Just the unlikeliness of it all,
It's
like
crazy.
the coolness of it. I just think it's awesome. So I really appreciate it. I've always admired you. Like, I've always been a big fan.
Thank you. And you've had me on your platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. We're getting old.
I don't think I think we're there.
No,
Yeah.
you're old. I'm not old.
There's not a lot of hair,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to UD. I still have my hair. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you guys,
Any final words, Jeff? Any final words?
I know in this age of 20-second videos and super clicks, it's not as common to give a whole book a chance. But I think if people read the book, they'll at least see the amount of work and effort and passion, and I hope sympathy and empathy that I try to put into it.
Yeah.
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 Thanks for having me on.
I'll stop there. But yes, I think empathy, sympathy is should be in abundance when reading this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.